Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
For more fun times and
shenanigans.
If this is your very first time joining us, welcome to the party. This is our sibling duo podcast / YouTube channel about life with chronic and invisible illnesses and conditions, including those mental and emotional.
I'm mental and she's emotional.
True facts. Where can they find us?
You can find us everywhere. Pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts, we're there, except for on Apple. And then you can watch us on YouTube,
yes,
so you can see the action, and interact with us in our Discord.
Facts. And join our lives. Those are Friday evenings, Saturday mornings, Mountain Time. And you can interact with us, and we generally interact with everybody. So it's a good time.
Except for that one guy.
We ignored him. We were
Jared.
like, no, be gone.
Yeah, but you're not Jared, so don't worry about it.
And if you are Jared, I'm sorry.
I'm not Jared. You know what you did. Just go with it.
My God. Poor Jared. Or maybe it was Jared's fault. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
He's 19 and he never learned how to read.
Perfect. Great. That's how the theme for today is going to be. We're having a hard one. It is like negative some odd degrees outside.
Yep.
And we're not having a good time.
Nope.
So it's going to be a little belligerent, which most of you guys love. So it'll be a good time.
Except for that one guy. But
Except
whatever.
for that one guy. God.
What are we going to talk about before we jump into our weekly recap?
We're going to be talking about bad baseline.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, if you are ill and medicated, it's hard to remember exactly how ill you really were and or are.
Yeah, tracking it especially.
Yes.
Because you don't know how bad you've gotten while you've been medicated.
Exactly.
So.
That's a big one. So we're going to be going over all of that and kind of the feelings that go with it, and kind of the feelings of the week, because this week has been kind of a hard one. But we'll be getting into it in our time for the weekly recap. Do the thing now.
Check in.
Thank you. I was going to freak out.
I didn't expect her to freak out. I knew something would happen, but I didn't know what.
Something bad would have happened if you didn't say check in.
Like a curse.
Yeah.
Anyways, you have to go first.
All the time. This week it wasn't even a bad week. That's what was like so frustrating about the feelings that I ended the week with. Nothing too dramatic happened until Tuesday, where I had a day where I literally could not get up. I just couldn't. And the fatigue has always kind of been there. It's always lurking in the corner. It's always there at the end of the day. But it got to a point on Tuesday where I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like even texting my boss to be
right.
like, I'm not coming in. It was one of those times where when you start a text and you fall asleep,
yep.
and then you've hit the B button forever.
Right.
And you have to go back and start it all over and try again. And it was like 3 rounds of that waking up and sleeping.
You weren't conscious until 2:30.
Yeah.
And even then you were like, I can't move.
Yeah. He was like, you want to come over? And I was like, can't. I would love to,
legs
but
broke,
I
body
can't.
fatigue. No movie.
No movie. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
And my hubby was super sweet. He was like, do self-care. And I was like, sleep? That's what I can do. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all I could do. It was pretty bad. But I survived. And then come Friday, and honestly, I can't remember the rest of the week or if I had any gripes with the rest of the week. But so I saw the doctor on Thursday, and they put in some new referrals, but then the referrals bounced me back to my primary care. So I have that appointment coming up, and then we'll see what's going on. But it sounds like they're kind of starting to take an interest in the general abdominal and pelvic pain, which would be super nice if we could figure that out. But there's also still that aspect of I'm super reluctant to follow through with these referrals because I fully believe that they're going to end at a dead end one way or the other. And that turned into a conversation with my therapist on Friday. About whether or not it's that they don't believe there's anything wrong with me or they're saying they can't help me. Both end at the same place where I am still left out in the cold. Mm-hmm. And so we talked a lot about that because I just was in this massive funk yesterday, and therapy only made it worse, which is not usually the case. So I know it was stuff that like I have to process. But yeah, it was a lot of like, I don't know, help me out here. We talked about it a lot.
Yeah. Because you were in a definite mood when you came over last
yes.
night.
Yes, I was.
Oh God. It's like when you hear what you don't want to hear, but you know you need it.
Yeah.
In a way, but presented wrongly, I feel.
In a way, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Like, I think she could have approached it differently.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure like, and that was the thing, like trying to explain to her that my mood was a mood and that it wasn't just like a pervasive all the time feeling.
Yeah.
Because that is hard to get across a lot of the time, where they're just like, are you okay? Are you safe? And I'm like, yes, I am. Today, I hate everything. Today, I am angry that I was born. Today,
yeah,
I'm pissed off because society won't let me just be an ill person. And I have all this responsibility to continue bringing in an income and participating in society and its whole structure that is designed to screw me over and people like me over, and over and over and over again. And that the fact that it costs me so much more energy just to do the normal things that other people do on the regular. And there's no like acknowledgement of that, or like there's nobody standing there to be like, yay, good job you, which that's not what I want, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nobody acknowledges the fact that it costs so much just to be alive.
I think what I was going to say before we got interrupted was that I had the same kind of week in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Like we had the same emotion, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting, especially because it happens a lot.
Right. Well, and we didn't validate it like fully until we got together yesterday and we were able to like bounce back and forth between the feeling.
What I was going to say is that there's a difference between being validated by people who know, who are chronically ill, versus people as a whole.
Yeah.
So like you get validation and support from people that know, but not as it's not given to us as like society wise.
Right.
It's a whole thing.
Right. Like it gets tossed into the like mental health bucket.
Right.
And you're like, no, this is a moment in time, but it's a really crappy one with feelings that I kind of stave off all the time. So they're always there, but sometimes they leak through the like armor we put up around our sanity. Okay. So no, I'm not like in danger, but also it was weird because I had to explain that the like ideation is always there.
Right.
Even if I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
It's always there. Like there's always that like I'm still an ill person living in a world that doesn't give a shit about me. I'm living in a world that would run me into the ground before it would give me what I need. But yeah, I don't know. It was rough. But it definitely plays into your week.
It's the exact same emotions for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
And the same experience, really. Like, so if you're new, I'm super bipolar. I have been my whole life, and I didn't know it until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, people knew.
It was like 3.
Yeah, we're at 3 almost.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. But and along with it, I have like chronic depression and blah 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 blah. You know, mental health issues that come with everything.
Right.
And I haven't been able to get my medications filled for what was it, like a month?
Yeah. It was a long
time to get my bipolar meds
because
filled.
I didn't even know you were out
until it was like 2 weeks in. Yeah. So I've slowly been like declining. It's been I have had a very good grip on it, I think. Like managing it as it was happening. Yeah. Until I hit a wall. Yeah. Like I hit a point where I ran out of my antidepressants at the same time. And when not only does it help with depression, but coming off of that medication cold turkey is very, very bad.
Not good for you.
No. So I had like this perfect storm of I was super being bipolar. I was in a massive like manic low. Then I was out of my antidepressants. Then I was going through the withdrawals of the antidepressants.
Yeah.
So I had we recorded last Sunday.
Yes.
She left. I go upstairs and I lay down. And then I didn't leave the bedroom except to go to the bathroom. I didn't eat. I didn't do anything. I just stayed in the room. I didn't even turn the TV on. I just sat in the room.
Yeah.
Dealing with like just an onslaught of horrible self-hating ideas and theories and just constant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on top of it, Jen started work. The kids had school.
Oh, that's right.
So I was left alone.
The isolation.
Right. That's I even said, like, I messaged Karina. I was like, I think part of it is that I don't have my regular tool set.
Right. Like the anchorage is not there. The grounding is not there because half of the ground is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it got bad. I was on the last day, I fully imploded and had like a manic episode, like full on angry rage about nothing. Can't do shit, making illogical choices. Like I was just out of control. Yeah. Which was really weird and really messed up. But after that, I was sitting down on the bed and I was talking it through with Jen. Because I like instant remorse. Like it happens.
Right.
Then you feel like a monster.
Yes.
And it was just so heavy on me. And I'm sitting in bed and I'm like, this is me. Like that's me just as is. Yeah. Which was ridiculous. Yeah. Like and at the same time feeling down on yourself anyways. Right. So I was beating myself up and then beating myself up again. Like, oh wow, I can't even manage to not be a douchebag. Great. Yeah. I mean,
well, and it's that like we definitely both hit it's not fair.
Oh, absolutely.
We hit the like this isn't fair. This isn't fair. I didn't ask to be here. And like without this tool set, I'm like barely hanging on. Right. And with the tool set, I'm barely hanging on. And it's that like it's not fair. No. That like I've always felt is so destructive. It's so self-destructive, but like there it is there and it has to be acknowledged at some point. Yeah. The feelings of just anger.
Oh my God.
There's so much like anger and not just like self-loathing, but the loathing of the world that we live in and society as a whole. And I remember one of the things that I was ranting and raving about at my therapist on Friday was like, society could work. It could, but it won't because they don't want it to. Right. And that was something that just like cut me. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like this on purpose. And that's awful. Yeah. Because I'm a cog in a machine that I didn't ask to be part of. Right. And I don't have an option to not participate.
No, yeah, you must participate. Yeah. Well, and the ridiculous the ridiculous thought too is that like the amount of effort it takes to do normal to get to where everyone else is, where they wake up in the mornings and they go to their jobs and they come home and they relax. Right. Like,
or they come home and do stuff. Right. What? You do stuff after you did stuff?
Well, it's because they're normal, right? They clean as they do things. Yeah. And it's easy. And it's so unfair. Yes. The amount of effort that goes into getting to normal. Yeah. Let alone like adding things on top of it or like the decline. Oh God, the decline on the bipolar meds was a trip really because it's like I noticed it and then I had to fight it and then it got harder and harder and harder and harder until I couldn't.
Right. Disclaimer: he's back on.
Yeah, I am good. I wouldn't be here right now.
Well, and I'm upset with you because you didn't tell me it got that bad.
Oh no, you came over when it got that bad.
Oh, okay. Well, and I was like, I wanted to stay, but I wasn't sure if that's what you needed because I was like, you need something. But you're holding it back because I'm here.
Oh, there is. Okay, so the whole what I said just now is that I would be here, and I meant like I'd be upstairs following.
Sorry.
No, but you're right. Like it did get that bad. Yeah. And it was that night that I had that meltdown, and I was trying to like cope with everything that just happened. Yeah. And there was just so much shame and like anger at myself. Right. And I didn't want like if I brought it up, I would have just been more hard on myself. Right. So I was trying to like chill.
No, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like you just being there was enough for me. Okay. You know, just being able to talk to somebody. But it was fine. Like okay. I took the Abilify that night. So, but it did get bad. It got to the point where I was like, it was. I think it was I don't deserve to live was
that's a big one. I
point.
think, yeah.
Like, this is who I am, and it takes this much effort to do the normal. That means I'm really fucked up. And it was so much worse than I had remembered, or maybe it was just that it is much worse now. Mm-hmm. You know, any number of factors.
Well, it's also like there's so much context that goes into it. Like the continual nature of things and how they pile up and they stack. And like you were saying, like you had a handle on it, you were watching it, you realized that the thoughts were like the bipolar and that things were getting worse. And then not knowing that you were out of your antidepressant for a while did not help you maintain that context. Right. So the context starts to slip out from under.
Without the context, it was...
Exactly.
I totally lost my footing, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, Randy can attest to this. Like, when you have that bipolar explosion and you do things and you're just not you, like you're just doing weird shit. Yeah. You're just angry and you're like, I know that there are fucking forks under this bed. I'm going to pull this fucking bed out. And you just rip the bed out. And then you're like, he's going to clean that shit. And you leave the room. No one's home. Who am I talking to? Nobody. I'm yelling at myself. It was stupid shit.
Well,
and then the immediate remorse afterwards, like when you get to normal, you're like, oh my fucking God. Yep. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
There's no way to like properly describe that feeling either.
My understanding of it, having like watched the two of you and kind of, I don't know, using the EQ superpower, and maybe I'm off base, you can tell me, is that it hits a boiling point where, so you know how your muscles get that itch and you feel like you have to move and that your body is going to start freaking out if you don't get to move.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that, but a brain itch where it gets to a point where you're like, if I don't do, and whatever the heck it is something horrible is going to happen, or I'm not going to be okay, or like the world is going to come to an end. Like you're thrashing against.
I think something. Those are a byproduct. It's a more intense feeling of that. It is. It's like that, except your whole body. Right.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like it's. I don't know. Here, you can turn his mic on. Oh, that might be better.
Well, his mic's not near him. You're going to be a part of this conversation, apparently.
Haha.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, let me mute. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. But it's that, like, I don't know, the like pacing the floors feeling, the like full, everything inside of you is screaming about something. And if you don't do something,
I think it's
that
more
feeling is gonna like
that feeling builds up, and then something triggers everything.
Okay.
It's like you get to a point, and then something will hit you wrong.
Yeah.
And then you're like in it.
Yeah.
It's like the things that I did were very irrational. I was very much not in control.
Right.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Well, and that's kind of what I mean with like thrashing. Yeah, thrashing is the only way that I can put it that feels like it makes sense to me. Is this like just like you're being cornered or trapped, like you're thrashing against the, I don't know, maybe that like constriction or being squeezed.
No, that is totally the vibe. Like that is the feel for me.
Okay.
But it's like something else is driving it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I had it for a second.
Yeah, it's like there's something externally controlling the drive.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I do not have access to that.
Right, and you're out of it then, and you're just reacting to external stimuli.
Yeah,
and it's a weird, horrible feeling.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because like I can relate in a way because like as a kid, I wasn't able to like process anger the right way at all. And so like, or emotion, let's put it that way. I wasn't able to, or allowed to process my emotions properly. I wasn't allowed to feel them. I wasn't allowed to be seen feeling them. I had to do everything like really quietly and really bottled up. Everything was so confined and controlled and like just pressure building because all of that stuff was getting crammed into that space and I was drowning in all of those emotions.
Yeah.
And then it would turn into like self-destructive behaviors. Tearing my room apart was a big one. Like the ADHD inability to process emotion. So I can kind of in a way relate to like the boiling point mania and then kind of the things that follow, but on a different kind of account, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bipolar fascinates me because it's like, I feel like I can see it through the window, but I can't quite validate whether or not I'm seeing it accurately.
Right. No.
Well, so it's interesting to have both of you in the conversation.
It's very different too. Like I've been manic and off and on the whole time I wasn't on my meds.
Oh yeah.
And I was able to keep in control and be fine. It's just I got to that point. I just had a horrible manic swing, and then everything was wrong, and then I don't even know what triggered it. It just happened.
Right.
It was like it just flipped.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's like a switch.
Yeah. And then you're not you anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with the consequences of whatever happened.
Whatever you did when you weren't you.
And you're not feeling great. You're already in a bad place, and then you're like, now I'm the fucking problem. Look at what I did.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's horrible.
Well, and all the feelings that
like
come
a
with
bad
it.
hangover.
Yeah. That's a really good way to describe it.
Huh.
Yeah.
The remorse. Yeah.
But that was my new baseline discovery, was finding out that I am not at all in control.
Yeah.
Like I was
mean, you have
so
context though. Like,
yeah.
I think you would have been in control had you not had the slip with your antidepressant also.
Yeah.
Because you are good at like, I am feeling this and I feel awful and I feel like shit and it's terrible and I'm miserable, but I'm not acting on anything because I'm aware of what I'm looking at.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to talk about. The crossover between our weeks. So, ouch. Oh God, don't lose it. I just had a good thought. I was having the really bad negative moments, but I was messaging you, and it was always, even when I was writing, it's like, I know this isn't always, this is a for now thing.
Right,
it just sucks.
Yes.
Like you even asked, like, what can I do? And I was like, there's nothing that anyone can do at the moment. I just have to deal.
Right. Which is so hard for me to watch too, because I'm like, I want some comfort. How can I offer?
But then, like, when I was, like, right before that day, the day that everything went bad.
Yeah.
There was like the suicidality again. Like it came on hard.
Yeah.
It was insane to me, like how severe it felt and how urgent it felt.
Yeah.
Like, do this now. It's like, why? Oh, well, because you're a horrible monster of a person.
Right.
And if this is you as you're in your native form, you shouldn't exist. I was like, oh, great job, brain. Thank you. It was bullshit.
Well, and
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you want to talk about, like, you had a similar situation not too long ago.
With my meds?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I had a med adjustment, and I simultaneously was out of my antidepressant because it had been on back order for a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't get mine.
How do you back order Prozac? I feel like they give that shit out with Happy Meals.
Right.
Like,
no,
yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, no, it's just.
Yeah, it was bumpy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and then like trying to clean it up afterwards, and like, I don't know, was it helpful to you when we were able to go through it and be like, there is context. You're not a monster. There is context for all of this stuff. This isn't like you woke up in the morning and you were like, I'm going to tear everything to the ground now.
Yeah. I did that with Jen immediately.
Yeah.
Like, we were having that conversation when you came in.
Oh, good. Okay.
Like I was trying to rebuild and not be self-destructive.
Yeah.
Because it was so bad. During this whole thing, I got up because she was getting upset about the kids not answering her.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, can you do this? Can you get Rin to do something? And she went, fine. And that was like a trigger for me. It was like, oh God, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it. So I got up and I went out and I shut the door and she opened the door. And so I was like, I shut the door. And then I yelled for Rin. And then Rin comes up and like just the whole interaction, like it escalated and then escalated. And then we had to like break it down.
Right.
Because otherwise I would just be like, I was all me and I'm a fucking monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sitting down and having like the conversation, especially right away, was nice.
Right.
To like rebuild rapport that was
yes,
like maybe lost but not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was so random and fast.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Well, and it's hard because you never know like who understands the context and who doesn't. And so like again with my therapist, I had context, but she did not. And at the time she was like, do you have a plan? Are you okay? Are you safe? Are you like, do you normally feel like the,
right.
And I was like, no, context. This is how I feel right now because of these factors. And they are many and plentiful.
Side note, there's no way to say this. That's not going to sound wrong. I'll get canceled for it, but it's fine. Can we normalize the difference, like the knowledge that there's suicidality and then there's ideation?
Yeah.
And understand that if someone says that they have ideation and they understand it's a moment, it's
right.
Can we not hound them then and make them not want to talk about it next time?
Right.
Because next time will be important.
Well, because that's exactly it. Is like if you like punish people for talking about things like that, then they'd stop telling you when things are wrong. Mm-hmm. And then maybe if it's not a moment, they're not going to talk to you.
Right.
And you don't want that. You don't want people to clam up.
Yeah, that's all.
That's not good. We don't like that.
Drives me nuts when that happens because that's happened to me for years.
Right. Well, because that was exactly it. That's why I was worried about like saying anything about it. Because I didn't want it to be like, I'm having the cop sent to your location to come get you. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, this is today.
Yeah.
I'm having a bad time today. And you're talking about stuff that is not helpful to me in any way, shape, or form. And then, the big one was like the fatigue, right? And this is where a lot of the feelings come from, is the fatigue and the frustration and the thrashing against the fatigue. Because like Tuesday, and you know how it feels to have that kind of fatigue. And now you know from COVID, right? That like that inability to rouse yourself, that inability to do anything, no matter how much you want to be doing the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you just keep being dragged back into this like pit of molasses, and surfacing is so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And my frustration with like the medical system right now had kind of bled into that, because my therapist asked me like, well, what do you wish they being the doctors were doing that they're not? And I was like, well, nobody wants to touch the fatigue. And that's when I said, I was like, I have literally always said that if there is a time that I go by my own hand, it'll be because of the fatigue.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything else is you could cope with,
well,
but you can't cope with being
was like,
fatigued.
I am good at being in pain.
Yeah.
I'm okay with being in pain. That is not the issue. But the fatigue, the like, if I am up and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, every fiber of my being screaming and crying and cramping up because I'm upright.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with that. Like how do we deal with that? There's nothing to be done. And then that's when she dove into the like, well, they took you off of that one medication. And I was like, that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me.
But to them, it's like we were talking about.
Right. They're like, it's a step.
It's a step that they're using to not address the issue.
Yes.
It's like,
well, and that's what I had to explain was like, we've done this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And guess what? The fatigue predates all of my medication.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In high school, there were days where we had to, like, I'd have my mom call me out because I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up. And I would wake up, like, when the school day was ending, essentially.
Yep.
And then be like, okay, I guess I'm a person again. And then have to, like,
same,
not act like I was, like,
I think the only times I missed
something.
school, I was never sick.
Yeah.
Like in high school. It was because I was fatigued and I could not get up.
Yeah. And so I was telling her, I was like, the fatigue predates it.
Yeah.
And I know how it feels. And it's not like sedative. Because she was like, well, you're on a lot of sedating medication and they're trying something and it'll just take time to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, but they always go for the medications.
Right.
Nobody is ever listening to me when I say it predates and that this is like a central core of my condition as a whole.
Yeah.
and nobody wants to touch it aside from let's mess with your medication some more.
Do you have a psych?
Psychiatrist?
Yeah.
No, not currently.
You need one, because that's who would listen to you about that.
I don't know.
That's who would be prescribing anything for it.
I have to figure out if that's even an option, but yeah.
But that's who you would need to see, I think, in order to make progress on that front.
Because I'm just like, this is not, it's not a let's delete medications or lower medications or whatever. Because I'm like, it means nothing. I just got off the baclofen and it did nothing. There's no change at all.
You should get a copy of your medical records and then go through it. Make sure there aren't any notes about suspected like chronic fatigue from sedative. Or, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know how they can be.
Right.
And then find a psych. Because like Anna saved my life.
Yeah. Because it's just like, I just can't. And I told her, I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to keep doing this. And that was, again, a moment. A moment. I know I can do it because I'm doing it and I keep doing it and I'm going to continue doing it. And that'll be how it is. But in the moment, that thing that breaks inside of you screaming like, I can't do this.
Right.
I can't do this. It's too hard.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of it being too hard. And I'm tired of being a good sport. And I'm tired of coping. And I can't do this.
Right. That's I was there all week. And then when everything hit the wall, that's when I crossed the threshold from like it being a moment to it being forever.
Right.
Because it is in a way forever.
Yeah.
Not the moment, but the
Right. Like it's perpetual.
Condition, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I hadn't like had a moment like that in so long, and it was just so intense. So it's like, oh, if this is me unfettered, then I am in trouble.
Yeah.
Because what happens next time I'm out of meds? Like,
right.
With the way things are impossible to fill anymore.
Oh my God. Yeah. Kaiser is pissing me off right now because they're taking my Lyrica and they're having it filled on like the same day I run out. So it's only available to fill the same day that I run out.
So you put in your request that day.
And then I have to wait however long it takes. And so then I run out of Lyrica.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why are we doing this to me?
Oh, Lyrica's not a fun one to go off of either.
No, my hands and my feet. It's horrible. Don't like it. But it's that like that dependence on the medication that is so frustrating. It is so frustrating to be like just bogged down by what you need in order to sort of be a person.
Right.
And how much it takes to sort of be a person.
Right.
Because our baseline, not great.
Right.
It's not great.
Well, yeah. Let's just walk through like the cycle.
Yeah.
So you have like the baseline of where you started. Yeah. When you either got diagnosed or you started getting treated for some things.
Yeah.
Or that's your baseline at the start. Not great. Like you're seeking help, so obviously there's something wrong. And you start learning skills to do things. Or what are you looking for?
Fine. Oh, go ahead.
You're just looking for buttons.
I wonder what this is.
Sorry.
It's a microphone. And then you start getting treated for it, right?
Yeah.
In theory, if things go well,
hopefully
you adjust
eventually
to like, I wrote it on here. It was like the golden era where you get everything kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Like everything up until December was really good.
Yeah.
Like mentally, I've been great.
Yeah.
Right. Like even when I was having the manic days, they weren't intense. They were easy to manage.
Right.
Like I just go, oh, I'm being manic today.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. Well, and you usually recognize it and you call it out and then you're good to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. But then whatever happens because it's the medical system and you're either going to lose your doctor. Find a new doctor. Go to Walgreens and get shut down. Insurance can need new prior auths that have to be handled by someone who doesn't even go to the office, and then they have to call that person on like Wednesdays when they were there, but
they're on vacation.
They're always
for
on vacation.
6 years.
And like, so you go without your meds and then you're back into the dark days, but it's worse than it was before because time has passed.
Yeah.
And you don't have the resilience that you had before.
Right. Well, and it's that like you lose the ability to hold how bad it is in your brain.
Right. Because
your brain is very intentionally made to help you forget pain. it helps you to remember like things that are painful so that you can avoid them, right?
Right.
But when you're chronically ill, you can't avoid pain.
No.
And so we stop holding on to that, I think. And we do it more, like, I don't know, more broadly than other people when it comes to like forgetting.
Yeah.
Right. We forget how bad it was. We forget how bad I forget day to day. Like if it was like, I forget hour to hour. I felt horrendous a little while ago. I'm doing better.
It happened last week. We did the recap and you're like, yeah, no, yesterday was fine. And I was like, are you kidding me?
No.
The day, like you were dying.
Yeah. But that's what it does is like to protect you. It's
Yeah.
like, no, throw that out the window. We won't hold on to that.
Yeah.
And then when it comes around after not having experienced it in so long, and you're thrown right back into it, not only is your body unprepared for what you're going through, but your mind doesn't have that like you said, the kind of like resiliency, right?
Yeah.
That ability to bounce back and adapt and readjust.
Yeah.
Because you don't have all the things that like help you to be able to do that.
Well, and for me, I think it was like also that there's the mood-based learning, right?
Yes.
And I haven't tackled the feeling of being in a manic low while being depressed in so long that I never had the chance to do that, right?
Right.
Like,
You never had the chance to adjust the mood-based learning. Yeah.
So the mood happened and I was like, no resilience there.
Yeah.
It happened and I was in it.
And all of the things that come stapled to that mood come right back with it.
Yeah.
Including like the self-destructive thoughts and the self-loathing and the destructive tendencies and all of that stuff. And for me, it's very much the same with the fatigue. Mm-hmm. Once I hit the point where I'm crying about being tired, like that's it. That's everything piles up behind it and comes right back in. And like now I'm aware that it's the mood-based learning and I'm aware that this is just like a package deal with the fatigue.
It's kind of,
but
it's kind of a double-edged sword knowing about it too.
Yes.
Because
then you invalidate yourself.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like you have the opportunity to understand it, know yourself, and then you could be ready for it. But at the same time, you know that you have this thing, and you have to come to terms with the fact that you have that thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Well, and it's like that with like the decline too, because even though we don't necessarily remember the baseline, we can remember the bad times.
Yeah.
Right. We can remember that like dark age of nothing was treated and all of the feelings that come with it and some of the pain and how bad that pain impacted
It's just not as visceral when you remember it.
Exactly.
Like
your body doesn't remember as much as your brain is like, oh, I remember that it hurt and all this stuff happened, but I don't remember like the depth of that hurt. And it's different. It's different.
I just remembered a thing I didn't want to remember. That was fun.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It was a bipolar thing.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It was runaway brain and being bipolar.
Yeah.
I talked myself into a corner. I argued myself into a corner.
Yeah.
With Jen one night, and like I was like, I guess this is it. I'm gone, and I left. I just left. I was like, I guess I'm gonna figure out how to get to Deming. This is my new life. I'm like bawling my eyes out. I'm in so much pain because it was just after back surgery.
Yeah.
God. It was bad.
Runaway brain, man. That one is intense.
But the last time I felt as bad as I did on Wednesday or Thursday was that.
Yeah.
So I was like remembering and then like, oh yeah, huh.
Yeah.
It was that intense.
It's that full self-destructive despair.
Yeah.
Because it does. It comes with this element of despair that is like you said, it's not just the, oh, I'm a monster and I should be put down to save everybody else. It's that like, well, this is always going to hang over me.
Right.
And this is always going to be in the background and it's always going to blah, 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 blah. I like it. It lives with me. It's going to follow me like my shadow. What is the point?
Right.
And so that kind of thinking slides in with the mood-based thinking.
I had like a weird moment too, where like we usually separate ourselves from like the body in general.
Yes.
But I had a moment where I was forced to be the body.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And it was like this cognitive dissonance moment and it all happened during that time I was talking to Jen, like after the fact, but I was like, look, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
I know I overreacted and that everything was elevated and we know why, but like, and then I was like, but this is who I am. This is my native. And then I was like, I am.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Where you have to like actually identify as the thing that's holding you back.
Yeah. Because it's normally we apply it like, this is a thing that I have.
Yes.
Not that I am the thing.
Yes.
So like I had that and I was like, oh, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad thought. Heavy badness. And then Karina walked in the room.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. That was like the best thing that could have happened.
Oh. Yeah, no. I don't know.
You did good.
Okay. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Do I distract you or do I leave you alone? I don't know. I don't know how to help.
You know, you help.
Yeah.
Like, if it was bad, I'd be able to articulate it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was processing everything that had just happened. And it was just, I was not ready to tackle it.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things like you said, being aware of it all makes it just so much harder because then you hold yourself to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
And that standard becomes like for your behavior and for your output of like emotional expenditure and all of this stuff because I have a tendency to like rationalize my emotions. I'm doing much better. I feel my emotions a lot more now.
You really do.
But there's still that tendency to be like, wrap it up really nice and neat, put it away because you know what it is and you know why it's happening.
I had that same urge. Like, that's why I started a conversation with Jen right away. It was so awkward and hard for me to do, though.
Yeah.
Like, to just be like, this just happened. Let's dissect it.
Yeah.
Because my brain was like, we could just forget this ever happened. And then I'm just going to remind you of all the bad things that happened. And you're going to think badly of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, without talking about it right away, I would have taken all the blame and been like, I instigated this whole thing. I was out of line. And like, you know what I mean?
Right. Which is why, like, I was so glad that I was able to come over yesterday because after I talked to my therapist, I was just so unbelievably moody.
Yeah.
And just cranky and just upset with the universe. And I couldn't even, like, I know why, but I couldn't even like pinpoint why this time, why now. Right. Why is this happening like right now? Why today? What is wrong with today? And I figured that like part of it was the weather was changing and I really, really didn't feel good.
No.
And then the really, really didn't feel good and the like massive sleep interruptions I've been having where I just want to sleep, guys. I'm so tired. Oh my God.
But wait, don't you have fatigue? Isn't that all you do?
Oh yeah. Oops.
I hate that.
Oh God. But I don't remember what I was saying. Sorry. What did I say?
You were talking about when you came over.
Oh yeah, being able to like verbalize it, and then like you were saying earlier, the difference in validation between people who are in your same shoes and understand, and people who are like looking at it clinically,
right,
or looking at it from the point of view of not having had to go through any of that. Is so stark. So being able to like talk to people who have the context to be able to like converse in that way is so drastically different and so much more relieving, I guess.
No, I mean I get it 100%. Like, you were giving me the story and all I could do was relate. It's like I had the same thing happen to me all week. Not for the same reasons, but like it was, he was the cracking same up and feeling.
Like, what? And he was like, oh yeah, no, it's the same shit.
Literally
same thing. No, it's just, and it's funny how that happens. Like we tend to go through these seasons kind of together and our ups and downs and like weaving throughout, or we take turns, but it's the same thing just handed to the other one.
Right.
Where I'm like, I had this and now it's your turn.
Yay.
All right.
I hate it.
Good luck. I hated it too. I'm sorry. I just got done with this nightmare.
Yeah.
But like being in it together helps in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
Then you can validate it and be like, okay, so this is just a season and it'll be okay. But we understand one another.
Right.
And we're able to like, okay, I feel understood and I feel validated. And now I can take, like, I can put all of my tools back to work and put them back in place and actually move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't feel the way that I felt yesterday.
No.
Today. I don't. Am I still like, ew, body? Yeah, that's gross. I don't like having one. Don't appreciate that this is what I'm dealing with. But I'm okay with it.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
Back to it's okay.
Yeah.
Are you in pain? Yeah, it's okay.
Right, exactly. And when you are chronically ill, it has to be okay at some point. Because if you don't find the okay, then you're going to spiral forever. Mm-hmm. So we have to make it okay. And I actually remember when we were talking about the difference between it's okay, or I'm in pain, but it's okay, and I'm in pain and it's okay.
Right.
And that like acceptance of this is okay. What I'm experiencing is okay. Not what I'm experiencing is not okay, but that's okay.
Right. I had that
different.
That was part of that. Like, I had so much stuff happen to me mentally in that like hour.
Yeah.
Like that I started to when you left. Like, because there was a part where I was like, this is me. And it was upsetting. Yeah. But then there was also this is me. I understand myself.
Yeah.
Like I was trying, even in that moment, to like give myself leniency to be like, it's okay because you have this. But my brain was not willing to listen.
Yeah.
Like it flickered. It was like someone turned on the light for a second. I was like, oh, back to the shit.
Yeah.
You know,
or it's like rejected.
Right. And now in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah. I'm curious real quick if you have any thoughts.
No, not really.
He's too elevated.
No,
I just saw you you were just listening intently, so I was curious if you had thoughts or comments.
Nothing comes to mind now.
Okay.
I had a question, but I lost it.
For whomst?
For Andy.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I don't know if you want to talk about this. I might have to cut this out. But like with the AA stuff, does a lot of the same feeling apply to like baselining? Like you have what it is now. Sometimes is that does it have an ebb and flow, I guess?
Yeah.
Right.
It kind of does.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of makes sense with what we were talking or what you talked about this week.
Yeah.
With the topic.
Yeah. Just releasing control.
Right. Yes. That's a hard one too.
Well, and you put it in this really interesting way this morning with like trusting that the correct things are going to happen or the correct thoughts will come about or the correct trusting that if you wait and are patient and you don't try to force the control, that the ebb will eventually it will come and go.
Okay.
It's a AA slogan type deal. It's one of their phrases.
What is it?
Trust the next right thought or action.
Okay.
Will be given to us.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how it's actually phrased.
Yeah.
It's like in Latin, just to throw you off.
They're like, and VTV da 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 da.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good job pronouncing things. Well done.
I just imagine that it's got to be the same struggle.
Right. Well, because remember I had that friend who used to call his addiction that he was recovering from, he would say that it's his chronic illness.
Right.
Because it's that same thing. Like you're still battling a condition that's going to stick with you.
Right.
Right. Like it is a chronic illness. But it's not thought of that way and it's not treated that way. And that if we could think about it that way, I think that we could get a lot further.
No shit. Well, it's like taking the shame out of anything. Like being bipolar was a struggle because it's like, oh, you're insane? You're going to murder your whole family now?
Right.
Like, great.
Right.
I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
It's like, have you guys seen the TikToks where it's like, I'm from Colorado. I don't, it's just them. So it'd be like, I'm bipolar. Everyone thinks I'm going to kill my family. I'm bipolar. I'm really happy to see you today. But now I'm not.
I'm bipolar, and then sometimes I laugh when I cry. What?
I'm depressed.
I think I'm depressed.
Shut up.
Yes. But yeah, no, it's like And you're right. Taking the shame out of it is really the goal. Mm-hmm. Just because that's the only way we're going to survive this thing. Just in general.
Right.
Because life is not kind to people who don't meet the status quo. Mm. And society is not kind to people who don't meet the status quo.
Isn't that the fun of baselines?
Right?
It's kind of like a measure, if you think about it, like how far away from normal you are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just now thinking about it. Like if you were going to put it into like gamifying it, it'd be like, what degree are you away from normal?
It's your handicap.
But you get like perks, right? But they'd be like negative perks. Like you can stretch your arms. Also, they fall out of the socket. You understand everyone really well, but also you're horribly depressed. You have boundless energy, but you also have endless rage.
Yeah.
Take all this stuff to make yourself feel normal. And it's not even that you feel normal.
I need so many potions.
You have to take all the potions to look normal.
It's like playing The Witcher.
Exactly like playing The Witcher. It's just The Witcher.
It's just The Witcher. Great. Yes. No, you're right, because you got to look normal.
Right.
But do you feel normal? No, I don't.
Not even
I still go home and I'm tired.
Yeah.
I still wish I could sleep. Like, I need an extra weekday.
We
just install one for the weekend and then just let me be unconscious through that whole day. Because I used to have like a crash day.
We could do like bi-weekly. If you wanted to have like a weekend where you sleep on Saturday, just conch day. We could go to bi-weekly.
No.
I know you don't want to.
I don't want to.
I'm putting it out there that you could do that.
No.
No. I don't wanna.
No.
I could just have Randy come on.
If anything, it would be like... And I always know that, like, I can always be like, can we skip a live here or there so that I can sleep on one end or the other?
I mean,
I know that's
we're really good about that.
Yes.
Avoiding burnout. We've surprisingly good at it, considering where we started.
Well, and we've been really consistent too.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like, the podcast is never a struggle for me to get into. Like, it's always like, even if I know it's a not today, I know we can do it tomorrow.
Right.
That doesn't bother me at all. But with like the lives, I also know that community aspect is really important to me and important for me to like maintain and helpful for me to maintain. And it's one of those self-care things that I do because I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the podcast sometimes is like having another job, but I like this job a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess as a final note, because we're not going to have a second half. We're just going to cut it.
Yeah.
For me, like one of the biggest struggles I was having before the meltdown was with the podcast.
Yeah.
I talked to you about this, but like a bunch of people are quitting YouTube. Like all these people that I'm like, a couple of them I just really admire. Like Matt Pat, I hate his channel. Controversial take. I just don't like game theory. I don't like the theories.
Yeah.
I like what he does.
Yeah.
And how he approaches things. And I've talked to him, like I've emailed him a couple times and he responded. Like cool. He actually took the time. I didn't get like a PR team.
Yeah.
He was the one who helped me figure out the old setup I did for streaming.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I asked him like, what mic do you use? Like how do you do this? And he sent me back an email. Respect to that guy. Yeah. He's amazing. But he quit.
Wow.
To be with his family. Like it's all good things. But it's like he was quitting and I'm like, I don't deserve anything. Look at this guy, successful multi-billion-dollar channel. He's just walking away.
See, we're building something here. We're not done.
I know. It was just really hard.
Yeah.
Like being in the negative and then like struggling to edit. Oh my God, dude.
Oh yeah.
And even worrying that the edit is now horrible because I was in such a bad place when I forced myself to do it.
No, I think it'll be fine. I'll watch it later today.
I think it's good.
It should
I'm pretty
sure. You know what
good.
you're doing. It's not like you forgot how because you were in a
No, but I'm worried that I missed things or that like I
don't
could have
feel like
done.
we got interrupted though.
No.
I think we were okay.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then the shorts that you picked up were great.
They were really funny.
Yeah, that episode was kind of a gold mine.
It really was. Yes. I was able to cut some cool things up and do some interesting like shots and
good.
I was really excited about that.
Funny.
We watched them yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
They come out next week. We also before we go are doing music reviews.
Yes.
The last one we did, it came out on Wednesday. So it's up right now for everyone to see.
I thought it didn't go.
No, the Ren and Achilles.
Oh. Oh, the first.
It's public.
Okay. Yes, that one I knew about. Okay.
Yeah. That one went public on Wednesday, and we should have another one for this one next upcoming Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have been wanting that.
Yes.
And if you like what we have to say, you should share.
Yes.
And just spread it out there.
Yeah. And drop us a like, because we again are building something, and I hate shilling, but also we could use it. So
we
like,
hate
share,
we hate shilling, and it's a personal thing. It's not that we feel pressured, like people complain about it.
No,
if anything, it's the opposite.
Blech.
Everyone's like, why aren't you shilling?
Yeah.
Do more. Could you maybe take it seriously? And we're like, we're taking it seriously. We just don't know how to put our hands out and ask for money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We don't know what to do. But I'm happy with the way we're going. So
also take your meds.
Take your meds.
Drink water.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Yeah. And find a nice, comfy, warm somewhere, because gross, it's cold.
Yeah,
winter.
very cold.
Bleh. Don't like it.
And also, if you're bipolar, check in with yourself.
Just check in with yourself in general.
Yeah, it's good to do.
Bipolar or no, check in with yourself.
I just worry about the bipolar bros.
Yes. Bipolar bears, we love you. You always have a home here.
Yeah. Even if I go crazy and become a like vicious mauling bear, and I try to destroy everything. I was rabid.
Polar bears are insane, by the way.
They are. And then you add in rabies. You ever see a rabid polar bear? No, because guess what? They're white. You don't see the foam. You just see the death in their eyes.
I don't
their
think
fear of
they
water.
Get rabies.
I'm going to go give a polar bear rabies just to find out. I will do it.
He's like walking around with a rabid raccoon, like, oh, polar bear, where are you?
What, am I not smart enough to like extract it? I have to just put a raccoon on a stick?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to duct tape a raccoon to a stick and just shove it in a polar bear face?
Yeah. Well, not the face. You want to give it a good chance to bite.
Yeah, no. You get one bite nose, and then the other bite.
Nose.
They bite each other.
Oh. But now it's duct taped to a stick, and now you've just killed it with a stick.
I was thinking more like just, rabies in a dart gun. Like a tranquil dart.
Where are you going to get rabies?
I just go out back and find a raccoon. There's got tons of raccoons.
You can't get...
Yes, I can.
That's not how this works.
I could get rabies.
You're just going to extract their spit? Is that the plan?
Or I just get it, and then I can distill it for myself. I'll be on a timer, but I'll do it. Don't worry. I got this.
How long is it going to take to go get to the polar bears?
Hopefully less than 2 days.
While he dies of dehydration because you can't drink water.
I'm afraid of it, man. It scares me that they're afraid of water.
I know. That part is so weird. Viruses are weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Anywho. What a closer. There we go. All right, my friends. I hope that you found some value in this. I know it's a little ranty, but I think it's important to acknowledge the struggle of being chronically ill and chronically being chronically ill. Right? You're perpetually going to be
ill. Just want to make it relatable.
Yeah.
So if you have questions or you want something out of this, if you're like, what can you do if you have this? Just let us know in the comments or in Discord.
Yes.
Because I think we're going to be coming up with an episode soon, maybe in 3 episodes, where we do a breakdown of things that people have been asking.
Yes.
And we just go through and answer.
No, that'd be great.
Kind of in concise ways. What do you do with this? What do you do with this?
Yeah.
So let us know. Message us any way you can.
Yes. And join the party because it's a good time with lots of good people. And we appreciate them very much. We love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. And I think it's time to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't roll my eyes that time.
He just was like,
do it?
Yeah.
Be kind to others. Be kind to otters. Be kind to otters.
Yes, be kind to otters. They're not murderous little crazy things.
No, they do horrible things to other creatures. They're gnarly, dude. Yeah. Dude. Let me tell you about otters. They're cute though.
Smart animals are just scary. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah,
the
octopi
smarter the creature. No, actually, octopus don't do much horror aside from punching fish.
No, I mean the intelligence of it scares me.
They're like squishy puppies.
Yeah.
I think they're cute.
They're just like little troublemakers.
They're so intelligent that it's like they could start an uprising.
They're only like 7-year-old intelligent. Come on.
Yeah, but if you kick a 7-year-old enough, it's going to get mad and fight back.
And start an uprising?
Get enough octopus.
Also, did you know that they are nerfed because of that? And specifically, they... I give up. They can't learn from their, like, ancestors. And so everything they do within one generation.
Yeah, and then it gets ingrained in them genetically, and they pass it on.
We hope. I don't know if that's how that works. That's
they just
pretty
have
awesome.
to develop language. They'll get there.
Yeah,
I'll give them some pencils.
Really good at problem solving.
You can get those underwater pens. We could teach a gorilla to sign. We could teach an octopus to ink.
Perfect.